Here it is, duelists. Jesse's new Rainbow Dragon. It is I, Hellgear, and I want to take a little time to talk about Rainbow Dragon, the Zenith Crystal Beast. Now, this is coming out, actually it should be out by now in Japan in their Legendary Gold box. Essentially that set is based on the Rivals monsters, and this is the new Crystal Beast whip. My peeps and I were having a talk about this, and all of them feel that this particular Crystal Beast version of Rainbow Dragon is going to replace the original Rainbow Dragon. I disagree highly about that, and I'm going to talk a bit more about this now and even cover some ways on how great this thing is. So, to those of you who don't know, Rainbow Dragon, the Zenith Crystal Beast, is a level 8 light attribute dragon monster with 3 racks of attack and nothing in the back, because Rainbow Dragons have no defense. All of them have no defense. If this face-up card is destroyed in the monster zone, you can place it face-up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell instead of sending it to the graveyard. Textbook Crystal Beast ability. Then it also has 2 OPT effects. When an attack is declared involving a Crystal Beast monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Or you can banish this continuous spell. Special summon a level 4 or lower Crystal Beast monster from your deck, but negate its effects, if any. And if you do, add an ultimate crystal monster from your deck to your hand. Alright, so first and foremost, let's talk about its second effect, and that is when a Crystal Beast is in battle. It doesn't say if it is attacked. It can be whether you're attacking with a Crystal Beast or if your opponent attacks a Crystal Beast. Boom, straight from the hand. Now, I'm going to be real with all of you. You're going to at least play 2 of these in your crystal decks. You're going to play at least 2 of them. Some people are testing it out and playing 3 copies of this. I go against that. But let's take a look at the other Crystal Beasts for a moment. I have seen every crystal deck on YouTube ever since Legendary Duelist 2 has dropped. Every single deck and every updated crystal deck. And trust me, when I show you guys my Crystal Beast deck profile, it's got something in there that no other deck has, and I'm still trying to figure out why. Now, this is not going to replace a Rainbow Dragon. And on the topic of Rainbow Dragons, some people are assuming that this will be an ultimate crystal monster. And I'll tell you right now, this is not going to be an ultimate crystal monster. You know, if they make this an ultimate crystal monster, they're going to nerf it. I mean, this card is already busted as it is because, of course, it has Crystal Beast in its name. So, its other effect, well, as it's a continuous spell, you can banish it to pull out another Crystal Beast, but that is negated, and you can add a Rainbow Dragon from your deck to your hand. Now, let's be real, okay? Going back to looking at every crystal deck, whether it's pure, dark, metal foes, whatever. Many of you run one of 4 different Crystal Beasts, and in your decks, this is going to be the card that replaces one of the following 4 Crystal Beasts: Amethyst Cat, Cobalt Eagle, Emerald Tortoise, or Amber Mammoth. Now, with the exception of Cobalt Eagle, the previous 3 people only run one of in their decks nowadays because they feel they're either useless or stupid. Obviously, they don't know how to use the crystals. Now, unless you're running a particular monster in the extra monster zone or extra monster deck, you're probably going to run 2 Cobalt Eagles. And I believe you don't even need 2 Cobalt Eagles for a specific one of that. So you're probably going to run 1 of those, unless it's that one specific extra monster. Now, let's take a look at the plays here. Okay, for one, I'm going to rule out the fact that Amber Mammoth is going to stay in the deck, because if you banish this card as a continuous spell, you're pulling a Crystal Beast whose effect is negated. And of all the duelists out there with the Crystal Beast effects, the one that they use the least or find the least useful is Amber Mammoth. So what you're going to do is you'll banish this card from your back row, put Amber Mammoth on the field, because again, its effect is it's a bodyguard. They have to go through it before they can attack any other Crystal Beast. I mean, are you seriously going to want your opponents to attack Amber Mammoth before this thing, which by rule they have to attack Amber Mammoth first if it shares the board with Zenith Crystal Rainbow Dragon here. Also, on its second effect, getting back into it, if you have one of these on your board already, its effect can special summon the second one from your hand, which is pretty damn good. So this, apparently the Crystal deck has a second OTK, and let's talk about the first OTK. How many of you Crystal duelists actually have the nuts to use this with Crystal Abundance? Think about that for a minute. How many of you Crystal duelists will have the nuts to use this with Crystal Abundance? And speaking of the Crystal support cards, let's talk about the other ways on how easy this card is to get out on the board. First and foremost, it is a Crystal Beast by name. So the majority of the Crystal Beast cards can pull this thing out, you know. Sapphire Pegasus can put this in the back row upon summon. Crystal Bond can add Rainbow Zenith here to your hand or to your back row. When it's in your back row, Ruby Carbuncle can summon it. If it's in your graveyard, Crystal Blessing can put it in your back row. If you have it with another one of your crystals in the back row, Beacon can summon it from the deck. Promise can summon it from the back row. You're probably not going to summon this with Promise from the back row unless you're in a tight spot, because that's going to be reserved for Ruby Carbuncle. And if you want to, you could send this to the graveyard for the draw 2 of rare value. You're probably not going to do that. But just think about it for a moment. If you have Rainbow Bridge and Crystal if you have Rainbow Bridge, Crystal Bond, and Crystal Promise, you can go into Bridge for Bond. You can bond this to put in your back row, and then you can use Promise to special summon it from the back row to the field, and you've already got a 3K beat stick on the board. Also, and this is another thing, you can pitch this to the graveyard for ultimate Crystal Magic, because again, it is Crystal Beast by name. So essentially, even though it is the 4th Rainbow Dragon, it's actually the 8th Crystal Beast. It is your 8th crystal. So you can use this to summon Rainbow Dragon. Now let's talk about the last effect. Essentially, because if you do pull Amber Mammoth from the deck using this effect and its effect is negated, you're pulling Rainbow Dragon from your deck. Now a lot of people have said, well, Rainbow Dragon isn't something you play in a meta deck for Crystal Beasts, and they've taken it out. You play this card and it searches for it. So why are you going to take out the Rainbow Dragon when this card can search for it? Essentially, Rainbow Dragon Zenith replaces Melody of the Awakening Dragon. in your crystal deck. Because think about Melody of the Awakening Dragon. You play the spell, you discard a card, you pull Rainbow Dragon from your deck to your hand. Possibly two if you run them. Well, if you're running one, then you're just adding the one Rainbow Dragon to your hand. You banish this as a continuous spell. You special summon Mammoth from your deck to the field. Its effects are negated. Then you're adding your one Rainbow Dragon from your deck to your hand. So you're essentially getting your two crystal cards. One being the Rainbow Dragon itself. So, in addition to getting it in the back row with Bond, Blessing, Sapphire Pegasus, special summoning it from the back row with Carbuncle, milling it to the deck with Ultimate Crystal Magic, and even Crystal Conclave for that matter. I didn't even mention Crystal Conclave, but you could use it with Crystal Conclave as well. And then you can special summon it from the deck with Crystal Beacon. There are so many ways this dragon can be just toolboxed. So when we get this in English, I'm definitely going to make sure they have two of these. Now, one thing I will note is this. They're giving us another spell that you probably won't use on this card in the gold version. But before I mention that, I want to talk about another card that can work well with this Zenith, and that is Return of the Dragon Lords. Yes, that's right, folks. You can actually special summon this card from the graveyard with Return of the Dragon Lords, as well as Return of the Dragon Lords being able to protect this card, because protection is one of those beautiful things that duelists want with their monsters. You know, you may even consider Return of the Dragon Lords in your crystal deck just for this. Yes, Return of the Dragon Lords can also protect the other Ultimate Crystal Dragons too, but it can revive that one, where it can't revive the others. So, the other card they're adding with this, and I disagree wholeheartedly, is Advanced Dark. Now, Advanced Dark you can actually use to pitch this to the graveyard to block damage. And that's pretty, this is a toolbox card, you know. This is the toolbox Crystal Beast, and I'm gonna say it. If I was on Konami R&D, I would add this card to the Dual Overload we have coming up. Put this card in Dual Overload along with the other gold box cards that we're gonna be getting. That'd be pretty sweet. Now, honestly, on the part on the Advanced Dark, I would not have used Advanced Dark in this gold collection because the Japanese R&D for the Crystal Beasts, they were slipping. I would have had the Advanced Dark replaced with Crystal Bond, since Crystal Bond is the most expensive card in this archetype's deck. I mean, if you were to go for Crystal Bond on TCG Player, you're going to be paying at least $35. Some cases you'll even pay $40 for Crystal Bond, and Crystal Bond is almost like an important staple for the deck. So in my crystal deck, I again plan to run two of these. I'm not retiring my Rainbow Dragons for this. I may give up another Crystal Beast instead. Again, I've just said that you can pull out Mammoth for this. You'll probably pull out Emerald Tortoise in defense mode because it has the 2 racks in the back. So you can use that. You can use Amber Mammoth. You know, so you may replace either Cat or Cobalt Eagle for this. But that's all I'm going to say on Crystal Beast Dragon here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If I missed another particular tech, let me know in the comment section below. Tell me how many of these you plan on adding to your crystal deck when it comes out in the West for English for all of our TCG players. And if you are one of my OCG viewers out there, let me know how many of these you're putting in your crystal decks. But for now, I take my cards to the box because I'm done. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.